1 minute. We need live. Tuko ready? Okay, this is a statement this afternoon by members of parliament in support of peace and reconciliation, from building bridges to opening of wounds. Yesterday's public statement by Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, is yet another installment of the Zilla's antics, staged purely for cheap publicity to anchor partisan political narratives and fuel divisive agendas. This ugly charade started immediately after 2017 elections through an overhyped campaign of vindictive profiling and selective prosecution, pretending to be waging a war on corruption. Yet to date, there has been no progress and no light shed on any of the dramatic allegations used to justify destructive crackdowns. What has instead become clear is that Kinoti's mission was a campaign of ethnic and political vendetta aimed at eliminating officers from the public service on account of mistaken and misplaced perceived affiliations and replacing them with acceptable homeboys or home guards, if you will. It was also calculated at profiling the deputy president as corrupt in furtherance of political sabotage. Despite the unorthodox method employed targeting a host of qualified public servants who got their jobs on merit, no case has successfully been prosecuted in court. Instead, those behind this scheme have quietly been trying to negotiate with those they illegally and unfairly removed from office, with sweeteners of paying them off to drop the cases. The next dramatic installment was to coerce, harass, and intimidate members of parliament who were seen to lean towards the deputy president. Trumped up, unfounded, and fake allegations were made against them solely to make them change their political stand. During this period, and to make them surrender to the unknown political forces, security personnel of some of the legislators were withdrawn. When this did not yield as much result as expected, a new scheme was hatched to remove them from parliamentary committees. The MPs were coerced and beaten into voting to support violently corrupt and tyrannical illegitimate changes to House committees and leadership at both the Senate and at the National Assembly. As per the well-known practice, Kinoti was eagerly deployed by his masters to announce the commencement of investigations and the assembling of evidence as the basis for prosecuting leaders for various trumped-up offenses. Yet this was only cover-up for his deplorable errands at the behest of sinister political masters. As usual, there has been no further progress of public information on those cases ever since the objective of violently overthrowing parliamentary leadership was achieved. Kinoti and his masters are back in town once again. This time round, with the announcement of the opening of investigations into the post-election violence, the PEV, which took place between late 2007 and early 2008. In so doing, they conveniently and selectively focused their attention to some incidents, areas, and victims. It is clear that Kinoti and his masters only wish to cynically exploit the terrible traumas of PEV to anchor a diabolical and divisive political agenda, distract public attention from his paymasters' political frustrations, incite communities into violent conflict, coerce Kenyans into supporting the doomed BBI adventure, and undermine their rivals' standing. For Kinoti and his masters, Therefore, PEV is all about selling fear in the Rift Valley and coercing its residents into supporting toxic and divisive political enterprises and problematic 2022 succession schemes. Kinoti's masters are the same shadowy puppeteers who schemed to similarly employ PEV and the ICC to prevent their excellencies on Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto from ascending to political leadership. Then, as now, they fabricated fictitious evidence and suborned perjury by corruptly inducing venerable Kenyans to tell lies under oath in support of vindictive fabrications. They failed badly and ended up severely embarrassing the ICC and the Republic of Kenya. Unfortunately, Kinoti's accomplices have executed the latest travesty on Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta's watch. His Excellency the President, who is well seized of the PEV and our country's unfortunate experience with politically instigated mayhem, must not allow fraudsters, liars, and opportunists to brazenly dance on the graves of those who perished in the PEV. A legitimate decision to obtain accountability for the PEV through the due process of law in a public, transparent, and impartial process is always welcome. Kinoti's insultingly hollow and transparent spectacle and mediocre attempt at deception and political intrigue fall far below any legitimate and acceptable standard. The cynicism behind Kinoti's shameful charades is chilling, immoral, backward, and reprehensible. It contradicts the government's public position that has been canvassed by the Attorney General as well as the President on behalf of the Republic, locally before Parliament and internationally in multilateral forums. The facts and contents of PEV, as well as the process and status of investigations, prosecutions, and their outcomes, is well documented. For Kinoti to purport to single-handedly overturn the substantial work of serious institutions on the basis of ridiculous figments is recklessly contemptuous and callously insensitive. Political machination must have its limits. Scheming and adversarial intrigue must respect victims, the vulnerable, truth, and a measure of ethics. As we speak, we have lost more than 1,400 Kenyans to COVID, while over 77,000 have been infected. The death, suffering, and financial catastrophe that has befallen Kenyans is chiefly as a result of criminal negligence and runaway corruption in the institutions charged with protecting the health and safety of Kenyans, including KEMSA. When corruption directly leads to the death of innocent people, it is murder. They have been promises to investigate and bring the COVID billionaires, aka the COVID murderers, to justice. Kinoti has been oblivious and conspicuously unwilling to pursue these ongoing heinous murders because the perpetrators are also his masters.
Shame on him.
Shame. This is how cavalier and hypocritical Kinoti and his masters are. They neither care about Kenyans nor about justice. They only care about short-term mischievous, deceptive, and hollow political drama. The statement by Kinoti amounts to incitement and provocation of the peaceful citizens of Kenya. How unfortunate are we in this country that in the middle of a devastating pandemic, a divisive BBI referendum is being forced on Kenyans, and to add insult to injury, incitement of communities is being conducted by state organs.
Shame. Shame.
We ask His Excellency the President one question. What is the guarantee that we shall still have a country left with all these evil and destructive schemes perpetrated through state offices. As leaders, we ask the citizens, especially residents of the Rift Valley, to resist the provocation and incitement to violence by the DCI Kinoti and his evil networks.
Peace must prevail.
Jubilee was born of a covenant before man and God, that no citizen's blood will ever be shed on account of political competition, and vowed that no amount of provocation will tempt us to depart from our sacred commitment. Considering that the DCI has revisited the Waki report, we demand a comprehensive strategy from the President, clearly indicating the program and plan of action across the country on the implementation of the Waki reports. In this spirit of revisiting, we also ask the President to address the nation on the fate of the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, TJRC report, and as well as the recommendations of all the past commissions of inquiry. This will forestall political hirelings from weaponizing such reports in future for divisive political agendas, the way DCI Kinoti is now abusing victims of PEV for political sport. On our part, we restate our commitment to the peace and reconciliation agenda that was formalized in Nakuru in 2012. The promise abides, the mission continues. The mission continues. Thank you very much.
Peace, love, and unity. Stop incitement. 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 Peace, love, and unity. Stop incitement.
Shame on you, Kinoti.
Okay, shame on you, Kinoti. Yes. Sorry, 1 minute. We will only take questions relating to this. Yeah. We will take questions relating to this statement. Okay? And we will start with...
Why don't we take the questions first?
Yeah.
Excuse me, most of the post-election violence victims were maimed and are now persons with disabilities, and I've registered most of them. So I have all of them, and our physical wounds had healed. So is our hearts. I don't know what informed Kinoti in making those wounds to drain again. We cannot afford to reopen the wounds that have already healed, because most of the post-election violence victims were maimed and are members of my club. And just as what happened in South Africa after apartheid, there was peace and reconciliation, and they decided to move on as a united country. As in Kenya, we had our own Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which was the ballot box of 2013, in which we elected the suspects, meaning we are united and we have decided to move forward. Mr. Kinoti, why are you reopening the wounds that were healed? Please, Mr. Kinoti, in the name of Almighty God, if you are being used politically, we can give you anything, but we cannot allow Kenyans to lose their lives again. Please, Mr. Kinoti, leave our hearts, leave our lives alone. Thank you.
Yes, very good.
Nataka kusema hivi, ujumbe kwa Mr. Kinoti ni kwamba huwezi tafuta njia nyingine ya kugonganisha Wakenya, kwa sababu njia zote zile mmetumia zimekataa kupita. Kwa hivyo njia ya kutaka kutumia makabila kuanzisha vita ili muwe pasishe malengo yenu ya BBI haitafaulu. Swali langu kuu ni hili. Tumeona jana watu wametoka sehemu ya Rift Valley kuja kuweka statement. Nauliza, hii post-election violence ilikuwa Rift Valley peke yake? Wako wapi wa Naivasha? Wako wapi wa Nairobi? Wako wapi wa Nakuru? Wako wapi wa Mombasa? Wako wapi wa Kisumu? Wewe unatuletea tu watu wamoja because you want to set up two tribes to fight, because you have already lost mambo ya BBI. Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka kukuambia hivi, fanya ufanyalo, lakini ujue chochote kikitokea katika nchi hii, kwa sababu ofisi yako imekuwa ofisi ya kisiasa, ujue mahakama ya jinai itakukujia wewe na wale wote waliokutuma unataka kuleta vita Kenya. Sisi kama viongozi hatutakubali vita hapa nchini Kenya. Shukran.
Maybe just but to add, you will all recall at the beginning of this year, at a press conference within the precincts of Parliament, we did indicate that there were plans by state organs and certain people within the state, one, to instigate ethnic animosity and ethnic violence, beginning with the Rift Valley and specifically in Njoro. And we indicated that there were plans to recruit people to go and instigate that violence. Therefore, what you are seeing from Kinoti today is just but the first installment of these schemes. The second thing we indicated at the beginning of the year, if you remember, and you can go back to your archives and look at our presser, I think sometime in February this year, we indicated besides instigating ethnic animosity and violence in the Rift Valley, they had plans and schemes to assassinate political leaders through staged accidents and poisoning. And therefore, I want to ask Kinoti, and you will recall soon after, I think within the month of May, they delivered poisoned food, which is a crime against humanity, to the people of Kikuyu. I did record a statement and provide evidence that that scheme was orchestrated, planned, and executed by officers from DCI. To date, Kinoti has not investigated that matter and brought the people to book. We just want to tell Kenyans and the world that this is just but the first installment. But also tell Mr. Kinoti that should anything, any installment of violence happen anywhere in this country, it is him and his masters who shall be held to account. Should anything happen to any leader here or any leader who was not here on account of the poisoned and planned accident assassinations, and we know, we have information that they planned to instigate cardiac arrests with some chemical compound that they say is untraceable. You will remember the Lamada incident on the planned assassination of the deputy president. Where are you, Kinoti, in terms of investigations towards the Lamada assassination claims? Because they were there, and we want to tell the world that assassination of political leaders is probably underway, and the next installment within the evil schemes of this evil cabal within the state. And that is why we challenge the president that it is under your watch, Mr. President. The lives of leaders and Kenyans are in your hands. Take charge. Take charge against this evil cabal within your government, Mr. President, and save this country from going to the doldrums.
Thank you.
Okay. I just want to remind Kenyans that these particular incidences that we have suffered before were experienced in 1992, were experienced in 1997. 2013, there were no such incidences. But 2017, we did have problems. I just want to appeal to all Kenyans not to accept to fall into the trap and shenanigans of Kinoti, Director of Criminal Investigations, because I believe, and we believe as a team, that he is under direct instructions and organizations of a very sinister team and evil spirit in this country. Therefore, Kenyans from all walks of life, from the hotspots of this country that have suffered post-election violence, be it Mombasa Coast, be it Rift Valley, be it the areas like the Naivasha, Kisumu, and elsewhere, we must reject these evil schemes and insist and demand the establishment of a truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, where Kenyans will be able to speak over the issues that have occurred. We will not relent, and we will not allow, as leadership, this kind of shenanigans that we saw yesterday. Kinoti, we are calling out on you with your teams. You must stop. You have fed enough blood of Kenyans, on enough blood of Kenyans. Stop it. We will not allow you. We tell Kenyans they must refuse and reject.
Ya, basi mimi kwa niaba ya wabunge wala wanatoka Rift Valley, mimi nataka kusema hivi. Ile maneno tuliona jana kutoka Bwana Kinoti mwenyewe, sisi tunataka kusema tumekataa na tunaendelea kukataa, na ikuwe ya mwisho kuonekana kwa hii Kenya. Mambo ya DCI, tangu wakati mimi nilizaliwa mimi mwenyewe, tunajua ya kwamba DCI kazi yake ni kuchunguza mambo ya ukweli. Na wakati wote akichunguza, hakuna wakati DCI anaita press conference na kutangaza ya kwamba mimi nachunguza fulani. Hii ni kitu tunajua. Kwa dunia yote hakuna kitu inaitwa CID ana investigate maneno kwa public na kwenda kutangaza. Hii yote amefanya ni kisiasa, na ni siasa mbaya ya kulete vita ya kikabila, na tumekataa. Mimi nikiwa kiongozi ya Rift Valley, nataka kuambia watu wa huko nyumbani wakae imara, wapendane, wasikubali maneno ya kupewa ya kuanza kuchokozana na jirani yake. Mimi mwenyewe natoka constituency Cosmopolitan, na tangu 2013 tumekuwa na amani, na mimi nataka kutangaza ya kwamba watu wa nyumbani huko Rift Valley, watu wa Kenya kutoka Mombasa mpaka Kisumu, tukae kwa amani, tusikubali maneno ya wale watu wameshindwa na kazi yao. DCI mzuri ni mtu kama Arab To, wakati alikuwa DCI alikuwa CID. Hakuna wakati alionekana hata akiongea, lakini mambo ilikuwa natendeka. Huyu Kinoti ameshindwa na kazi yake, aende achunguze mambo ya maana, aachane na siasa. Siasa kama anataka aachie sisi siasa, ama aache hiyo kazi yake akuje siasa. Tumenyane. Ya mwisho nataka kuomba kwa roho safi, President Uhuru Kenyatta, watu wote Kenya wanakutegemea. Kama wewe haujui hii maneno, jua kutoka leo na utoke kutoka State House uongee. Okoa Kenya. Isije tena ya kwamba Kenya inaweza kurudi kwa vita. Tumekataa na tunaendelea kukataa.
Nataka kutaja mambo matatu peke yake. Kwanza, nimetumwa na watu wa Huruma na watu wa Kibra na watu wa Mathare ambao mwaka wa 2007 Raila Odinga aliwaambia waingie manyumba za watu. Wanasema hata wao wangetaka kuandikisha statement ndio hiyo mambo ifuatiliwe. Na pia kwa hivyo nataka kuomba Bwana Kinoti na DCI awapatie nafasi na wao waweze kuongea. Ya pili, tunacheza na mambo ya usalama. Tuko na ripoti katika hii nyumba ambao tunajadiliana, ambao ililetwa na rais wakati wa State of the Nation Address, the security report on security. Na akasema katika hiyo ripoti ya kwamba kuna wanasiasa wana fund vigilante groups kama Mungiki na zingineo. Pia hiyo ni kazi Bwana Kinoti. Angalia kwa hiyo ripoti, kwa sababu kusema kuna wanasiasa haujasema ni nani, ni kucheza na usalama wa kitaifa. Mwisho, kati ya mwaka wa 2008 na 2013 mimi mwenyewe nilikuwa nafanya na rais. Sana kazi yangu ilikuwa ya kuleta watu amani na kushikanisha watu sana huko Rift Valley. Karibu miaka 4 sikufanya kazi nyingine. Nikitaka kuuliza rais wetu, sababu wewe ulitufunza kufanya amani na wengine. Wewe ulitufunza kusameheana. Wewe ulitufunza kuangalia mbele sio kuangalia nyuma. Wewe ulilalamika wakati ulisema Raila anataka watu wakae kwa historia. Viongozi hukumbukwa kwa ile maneno wamefanya mwisho, sio ile wamefanya mwanzo. Usikubali hii maneno define your legacy, Your Excellency. Tafadhali, you have invested too much in this peace in this country. Usikubali watu ambao wamekuwa wakikupiga miaka yote wakutoe katika hiyo njia ambayo ulikuwa karibu tu upate Nobel Peace Prize, isipokuwa ni hii. Asante.
Okay. Today I will not. Today I will not wear a national hat. I will speak as one of the leaders from the Rift Valley, just like Susan Kiika here, among others who are here. We know that, and we've said this for a long time now, for almost from the part of last year to this year, that there is a plan for a state-instigated violence, and the stage is Rift Valley. And the acts are intended for political reasons. This is simple, and I like to speak in a very simple way. The Asla narrative has united all Kenyans who believe that every hustle matters and that we should speak matters economy regardless of our community and tribes. The candidature of one William Ruto has been accepted across the country. The players of Uhuru succession who are deep inside the government urged plans like you read in our statement, starting from corruption, instigated charges, removal of leaders. Now the last card they have, because they have realized BBI doesn't work, the last card they have is to instigate violence in the Rift, so that communities, because Rift Valley is one of the regions that has every community in the country. And so that then if there's violence in Rift Valley, blame it on William Ruto. Then once you blame on William Ruto, you go to what they had already announced, that he will not be in the ballot box. So the objective here is political, like in our statement says, it's a political sport. But unfortunately, political sport using human lives. Using human lives.
Shame.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, accompanied by most of us here, visited the ICC with the deputy president. And what did they tell ICC? That we started reconciliation process in 2012. We have sorted all IDPs. They are settled. Everybody has gone back to their land. They told the world that as a result of their coming together, now Kenya is a peaceful nation. The president came to parliament and announced that there was a 10 billion that has been put in place to ensure that all the TJRC-related issues are settled. Now, we want to know the truth. Did President Uhuru Kenyatta lie to ICC? Did President Uhuru Kenyatta lie to Parliament by saying that those issues have been sorted? Do we believe the older President Uhuru Kenyatta or the current one that is supporting a DCI who is reopening a chapter that has been closed? So these are the questions we are asking ourselves. We are saying the real President Uhuru Kenyatta should come out. Yeah. Are you the one who told the ICC you've sorted these issues, or you are the one now who is reopening these issues? And even then, we have agreed as leaders kutoka Rift Valley. Ata liwe liwalo. Juu chini. Siasa yende nyuma ama mbele. Jubilee ikue isikue. Tumeamua ya kwamba hakuna tena mwananchi atamwaka damu kwa sababu ya siasa. That is our resolve. It will not change. Kinoti and his shenanigans, I hear he was issuing another statement today trying to apologize. I'm sure he has realized that what he was doing has backfired. We want to tell him we don't want that letter he has written today. Let him go straight to a press and apologize to the people of Kenya for pretending to be reopening a process that the president himself announced that it had been solved. Or if that is not the case, he should be relieved of his duties. We get a DCI who is independent, who can be able to carry out the responsibilities of DCIs in a manner that is befitting a public office. Hiyo tu ndio tulikuja kusema hapa, lakini wache niwaambie, wafanye nini, wasifanye nini. Wakalenjin, Wakikuyu, Wakisii, Wajaluo, Waluya, Wasomali, Waturkana, Wamasai, wote wenye wanaishi Rift Valley, hakuna siku tutapigana tena. There is no time we will fight again. And we leaders who are here, like our statement is stating, while they are going for revenge and reopening those files, those of us who are here believe in peace and reconciliation. And if given a chance to continue leading our people beyond 2022, we will only focus on peace and reconciliation. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki. Thank you very much. I think our statement ends there. Yeah, please. Thank you.
Stop peace, love, and unity.
Tom, finish up. I'm not able to speak Kinoti.
I know. I mean, who does?